you need to manipulate policy. According to our requirement, we have to play with policy, right? So by default, all sites are communicating directly with each other. Like if I will talk about site 1 and site 2. So site 1 and site 2 are going to communicate directly, right? Because both have the T-lock of each other, both have established IPsec, and the next hop IP address is remote site, right? Like on any site you can verify that. Let me access branch 1 site 1 for an example. Branch 1 VH1. And let me reduce the font size as well. Okay, and see the prefixes. Inside 1 we have 192.168 10.0, 10.0, 11.0, 12.0. Inside 2 we have 20, 21, 22. Inside 330. In data center we have 100, and inside 4 we have 40. Okay, so let me log into this device. So OMP T-locks, right? So we have T-lock of all the sites, DC 4.4.4, and here on DC we have, in DC we have only one color, that is MPLS, because we have only one link here, you can see in DC, right? So either we can configure color, internet, biz internet, or MPLS. T-lock of all the Vmanage devices are there. For 5.5.5 we have 2 T-lock, one for MPLS, on the MPLS, and one on biz internet, right? On all the Vmanage devices, you can see. And after that we can check the BFD session, we can check the IPsec session, we can check the control connection, we can check the OMP pairing, right? So control connection, this is my control connection, 2.2.2 and 1.1.1. So IPsec inbound connection, this is my IPsec inbound connection. Right, so I am on 5.5.5. You can see I have IPsec with 4.4.4, 7.7.7, and with 7.7.7 I have 2 IPsec sessions, one MPLS, one on biz internet. Fine. Then 8.8.8, 9.9.9, and with DC 4.4.4 I have only one IPsec session. Over IPsec we can verify the BFD session as well. So BFD session, so see the BFD session also, same output, and so OMP peer. So OMP with vSmart, right? If I will trace route, if two sides are going to communicate, let's say this one is router, branch 1 VS1 is going to ping branch 2 VS1, right? So I can say trace route in which VPN, in VPN 10, and then 10.10.2.1. So traffic is going directly, you can see here, traffic is going directly to Vmanage device, and it will be performing load balancing over internet and MPLS. Over internet and MPLS it is performing load balancing. Now let's suppose the first and very basic requirement is hub and spoke. This is full mesh topology, means all the sites are connected with each other, right? branch 1, branch 2, branch 1, branch 3, branch 1, branch 4, branch 1 and DC, DC and branch 4, branch 3, branch 2 and branch 1, this way, right? Means all the sites have direct connection. And if you are going to configure hub and spoke topology, it means all the sites are going to establish communication with DC only, DC, right? Then how two sides will communicate, like branch 1 and branch 2 via headquarters, via DC. Then it will communicate via DC. Okay. So this is what, this is traffic management, or you can say traffic control. So what is policy? Policy is used to control the traffic, or you can say to manage the traffic. Like it might be possible that here in branch 1 and in branch 2 I have multiple VPN, multiple service VPN. VPN is similar like VRF, right? So here if we have, let's say, 2 building, right? For building 1 I have VRF A, for building B I have VRF B. In SD-WAN I can have VPN 10 and VPN 20. For an example, what I want that VPN 10 user, here also I have VPN 10, VPN 20. So what we want, VPN 10 user should communicate directly, right? But VPN 20 user should communicate via DC. How you can achieve it? You can achieve it through policy. You can achieve it through policy only. Okay. So policy is used to control and manage the traffic in SD-WAN. Clear? Any question? Anything?
No.
No? All clear? Great. We have 2 types of policy. If someone will ask you like first what is policy, so you can say policy is used to control and optimize traffic flow across the SD-WAN fabric. By default all sites are communicating directly. They have BFT session directly. They have IPsec session directly. Right? And to control and optimize or manage, we are going to configure the policy. Like you can say like to determine how data packets are managed or routed. Even we can prioritize some traffic. And this is the reason why policy is very critical in SD-WAN. It is used to optimize performance as well. Like with the help of traffic manipulation, we can achieve performance, better performance. Performance management can be done. It can be used for security, like maybe if I have one firewall in data center, so first I will forward traffic in data center, and after that in data center we can inspect the traffic. Right? So policy is rule, set of rules or condition that guide traffic management and flow across the SD-WAN fabric. Right? Set of rule. We are going to define the rule, and on the basis of that rule, devices will take forwarding decision. Right? Means we are going to play with the behavior, by default behavior. This is right now, there is by default behavior. Right now what we have seen the theory of SD-WAN, we have seen how to configure live all controllers and manage devices through CLI. Then we have seen how to configure and manage through GUI, how to configure manage devices through templates. We have seen feature template, we have seen the CLI template. And after that, now when all the sites are able to communicate, we have understood the default behavior. And now we are going to change the default behavior with the help of policy. Right? So we are going to change the behavior, by default behavior. Later you will see how to prioritize like critical application. Actually we have multiple types of policy. We can configure policy like aware, application aware routing policy as well, like to define a specific path for a specific application. If I have a specific application, I want to define a specific path, a separate path for that application only. Like that path is reserved for one application. So that can be also achieved with the help of policy. Then, so you can say with the help of policy we are manipulating the behavior, by default behavior of SD-WAN fabric. And there are two types of policy. Let me open my Paint. Policy. There are two types of policy. One is centralized policy. Centralized policy. And another one is localized policy. It is clear with their name, right? Centralized means what? Centralized means the policy which will impact on entire SD-WAN fabric, means on all the devices. And localized policy means what? It will affect on a specific device. Right? So we have two types of policy. If you want to change the behavior of entire SD-WAN fabric, then you will configure centralized policy. If you want to change the behavior on a specific box, on a specific device, then you are going to create localized policy. And then further we categorize both into two parts. One is, again further we categorized it into two parts. One is control policy, control and data. Control policy, data policy. Both are categorized into two parts, control policy and data policy. This is like tells how you are going to push the policy on devices, right? How you are control policy means we are going to change the behavior of control plane. We are going to manipulate with control plane. Control plane means route. And data policy means we are going to play with data plane, means user data. User data. And where we will create policy? We will create policy on Vmanage. Vmanage. This is very, very important, right? We'll create policy on Vmanage, and Vmanage can push that policy to either vSmart or it can push the policy to Vmanage devices, directly to Vmanage device, right? Policy will be applied to Vmanage devices only, but either it will applied on Vmanage devices through vSmart or directly Vmanage is going to push it to Vmanage device. So control plane policy, control policy will be always pushes to vSmart from Vmanage. Vmanage is going to push it to vSmart. It will push it to vSmart. And then vSmart will push it to, see, control policy means for the control plane. Who is managing control plane in SD-WAN? Your vSmart, right? All the Vmanage devices have OMP pairing with vSmart. All the Vmanage devices are going to share their prefixes, LAN prefixes, service VPN prefixes to vSmart, and then vSmart will push it to other Vmanage. Like if I will talk about two Vmanage, here I have Vmanage 1, Vmanage 1, and then somewhere on the internet it is connected with vSmart, and same vSmart is connected with one another Vmanage, that is Vmanage 2. Vmanage 2. And here on Vmanage 1 I have one subnet, let's say LAN subnet 10.1.1.0/24. Right? So how Vmanage is going to advertise it to Vmanage 2? How Vmanage 2 will run this subnet, 10 subnet? Through OMP, right? Between Vmanage 1 and Vmanage 2, here I have OMP session. OMP. And between vSmart and Vmanage 2 also I have OMP. Here also I have OMP. And you know OMP advertise three types of route. One is OMP update TLOC, right? So this WAN is connected with, let's say, internet. So TLOC will be system IP plus color plus encapsulations, means IPsec plus biz internet plus system IP, right? So let's say here I have TLOC 1, right? In TLOC it will advertise both private and public network. If you are thinking that Praful, how public or private network, you didn't discuss NAT. That is very easy. Let me discuss that also here. Just give me 5 minutes to explain that NAT. Okay. So for an example, here I have Vmanage, one Vmanage, Vmanage 1, and this one is connected with one NAT device. Let's say firewall. Right here I have one firewall, or I can say NAT device. It can be any NAT device, right? And then my NAT device is connected with internet. Fine. And then on the internet somewhere we have vSmart. Correct? Right? So somehow this WAN will get IP address of Vmont. Either you will define manually, this is the IP address of Vmont, or through PNP or through ZTP, that is the automatic process, will see that. So this WAN will get IP address of Vmont, and Vmont will provide IP address of vSmart and Vmanage to Vmanage. So now when Vmanage 1 will have IP address of vSmart, Vmanage is going to establish DTLS or TLS connection, right? So this Vmanage is going to send one message to establish DTLS or TLS term, by default DTLS. And here we will have private IP address. Let's say for example 192.168.1.1, and here on the NAT device we will have public IP address, for example 1.1.1. Correct? So till now this WAN don't know anything about vSmart, don't know anything about this NAT device, right? Let's say WAN got the IP address of vSmart. That vSmart IP address is, let's say for an example 100.1.1.2, right, which is the IP address in your scenario 2. So now when have IP address of vSmart, now when is going to send message, hello message, right? In that hello message, source IP will be 192.168.1.1 and destination IP will be the IP address of vSmart, which is 100.1.1.2, which is 100.1.1.2. But here we have NAT device. Getting my point, guys? Fine. And in the actual message, Vmanage will also share their IP address, their source IP address, right? So this is my data, let's say. In the data, he will be sharing their IP address 192.168.1.1. And after that, it will forward to this NAT device. When NAT device will receive it, what NAT device will do? NAT device is going to translate the source, right? It is going to translate the source. So in the data, here still we have what? IP address of Vmanage 1, which is 192.168.1.1. And then NAT device is going to translate the source IP address from 192.168.1.1 to 1.1.1.1, right? If you know the traditional routing in well, that means you have knowledge about it, that how NAT work. Whenever NAT device will receive traffic on inside interface, it will translate the source. Whenever Vmanage device will receive traffic on outside interface, means WAN interface, it will translate the destination. Right? In the patch, it will translate source into the IP address which is running on WAN interface, on the outside interface. So same thing is happening here. It has translated the source. This was the source when WAN is 1 had generated the traffic, but now source is 1.1.1 and destination will be seen 100.1.1.2, and then this NAT device will forward it to internet will forward it to vSmart. Yes or no? Yes, this is the process only we have seen, we have learned till now. Now, when vSmart will receive this traffic, actually this is here Vbond. Vbond is going to keep the information of NAT. Yeah, same process will happen for Vbond also. Like somehow this Vmanage device got the IP address of Vbond either manually or through automatic process, and this Vmanage 1 is going to establish DTLS tunnel with vSmart. So that's why it have generated the hello message. In the hello message, IP address of Vmanage 1 is this one, 192.168.1.1, and in the IP header, source IP is 192.168.1.1, destination IP is IP address of Vbond, right? Vbond should be publicly reachable. It has forwarded to NAT device has translated the source. When Vbond will receive this traffic, this information, what will happen? When Vbond will receive, Vbond will get to know that what happened here? When Vbond will receive it, Vbond will get to know that there is NAT device between Vmanage 1 and internet. How Vbond will get to know about it? It will see the IP address which is coming in the message is private 192.168.1.1 and their public IP address. IP address in the IP address is different. Right? That means someone has translated the traffic. So now it is responsibility of Vbond to inform about the public IP address of Vmanage 1. Right? So Vbond is going to tell to Vmanage 1 that brother, your public IP address is your public IP address is 1.1.1. Your public IP 1.1.1.1, and after that in the IP header source IP will be 100.1, sorry it is 100, here also it is 100.1, and destination IP will be 1.1.1. It will forward to NAT device. When NAT device will again receive this message, it will translate this time what? This time it will translate the destination because it is receiving traffic on outside interface. So what destination will be here on NAT device? Destination will become 192.168.1.1. Sorry, public IP. This is the public IP address 1.1.1, and here it will translate 192.168.1.1, and then it will forward to WAN is 1, right? And now WAN is 1 will get to know that there is NAT device and my public IP address is nothing but 1.1.1, right? So when WAN is 1 is going to create their T-log, right? So in T-log it will share both private IP address and public IP address. It will say my public IP equals 1.1.1.1 and my private IP equals 192.168.1.1. Fine. So now let's say on this Vmanage, WAN is 1, I have one LAN 10.1.1.0/24, 10.1.1.0/24. So what will happen? Through OMP route, WAN is going to advertise it to vSmart. Here you can see WAN is 1 is going to advertise it through OMP route. It will send one OMP route to vSmart. Right? In the OMP route, it will share their service route, means 10.1.1.0/24. It will also advertise T-log. In the T-log, public and private, both IP addresses are there. Public and private, both IP addresses are there. And then vSmart is going to share it to WAN is 2. This way WAN is 2 will learn this submit 10.1.1.0/24, and whenever WAN is 2 need to forward traffic, it will use the public IP address. Right? So whenever I want to apply policy on all the control plane, where I will execute, definitely I will execute on vSmart, because vSmart is managing the control plane. vSmart is receiving control plane information from one Vmanage and it is advertising to other Vmanage. Right? So always keep in mind, control policy will be always executed on vSmart. It will be always executed on vSmart, and Vmanage will push it to vSmart only. So this is control policy. And if I will talk about the data policy, so your Vmanage is going to share data policy to Vmanage device. Right? It will push, Vmanage will push data policy to WAN edge device, and then WAN edge device is going to execute it. Right? VH. This is what data policy. Data policy. Okay. So we have two types of policy. First of all, what is policy? Policy is used to change the default behavior of SD-WAN fabric. It is used to control and manage the traffic. Right? We have two types of policy, centralized policy and localized policy. Whenever I want to change the behavior of complete SD-WAN fabric, I will configure centralized policy. Localized policy is local to box. Whenever we want to change the behavior on a specific box, then I can configure localized policy. Then both are categorized into two parts, control and data. Control policy will be executed on vSmart, and it is used to manage control plane traffic. And data plane will be executed on Vmanage devices, and it will control the data plane traffic. Both are going to control the data plane, user data only, right? The difference is in terms of where we are executing the policy and how Vmanage is pushing the policy, right? We will create both policy, all types of policy on Vmanage only, right? If it is control plane, Vmanage will push it to vSmart. If it is a data plane, then data policy, then Vmanage is going to push it to Vmanage device directly. Clear? 1 minute guys, 1 second. And guys, trust me, there is no limit of policy. Whatever you can think that you can configure. Whatever manipulation you can think you can configure. So first of all, we are going to apply policy for all devices on complete SD-WAN fabric. So I am going to create centralized policy, that is final. Then I am going to manipulate control plane traffic. I will execute policy on vSmart. That means I am going to create control policy. Okay. Centralized policy are created and managed SD-WAN controller label vSmart at controller label, and they are applied across all the devices, all the sites. Actually, control like centralized policy focus on application based routing, application aware routing. Later we'll see the application aware routing, like we can match any application and for that we can configure a specific path. Right? The important, and in interview also, interviewer is going to ask you question about the execution only. Right? Which policy will execute it at which device, and where you will configure the policy. So all policy will be configured on Vmanage, and then Vmanage will distribute that to vSmart if it is a control policy. If it is a data policy, then Vmanage will push it to Vmanage. Through which protocol? Tell me the name of protocol. Through which protocol it will push the configuration?
Netco.
Good. Through Netco. That's why we have allowed Netco on tunnel interface. And after that, one more important thing, that is direction. That is direction.
Sir, you're right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Tell me.
Now it's visual. Sir.
Second important thing is, guys, direction. There are two direction: inbound and outbound. Like in BGP, we are manipulating path for inbound traffic and outbound traffic. In the same way, we can apply policy for inbound and outbound for both types of traffic. Like again, same example I am going to take. WAN is one connected to vSmart and connected to WAN is 2. Vmanage 2. So here on Vmanage 1 I have one submit 10.1.1.0/24. So two things can be happen. Either I can tell to vSmart to not receive this prefix, or I can say to vSmart do not advertise this prefix. Right? If you will say do not receive, then it will not receive from WAN is 1. Direction is what? In. When WAN is 1 will advertise it to vSmart, vSmart is not going to accept it. So direction should be what? Inbound. Outbound means vSmart is not going to advertise it to Vmanage 2. Right? So all the prefixes are present on vSmart, available on vSmart, right? If you want to block anything, any traffic, simply you can apply that in odd direction on vSmart. Then vSmart will not advertise it. vSmart will receive prefixes from all the Vmanage devices, but it is not going to advertise, right? So let's say if I want to create hub and spoke topology, I have sites. Let's say this is DC data center. I have branch 1, branch 2, and branch 3. Let's say 3 branch, right? And we have here transport. Multiple transportation can be there, right? So if I will talk about the by default behavior, so by default all the sites are going to communicate directly, right? Here we will have IPsec, here we will have IPsec, here we will have IPsec, right? And through vSmart all the Vmanage devices will have OMP pairing. So this router, data center DC router, is going to advertise X subnet to branch 1 also, branch 2 also, branch 3 also. Fine. And whatever prefixes here we have, let's say Y, Z, and A, right? If I am going to tell to vSmart that brother, do not advertise any T-log, then can these Vmanage devices establish IPsec? No, right? Either I can match the site on in the policy. What we can do here, let's suppose we have site 100, here site 1, site 2, site 3. I can create one policy. In that policy I can match, let's say, a spoke sites. Name is a spoke site. A spoke site. And in this site I am going to add site ID 1, site ID 2, and site ID 3. And now I can tell to my vSmart that bro, block it. I can apply this policy in odd direction, right? So vSmart is not going to advertise any route for this site ID. For this site ID, either I can block the T-lock. Now the second important thing is matching, specifying the traffic profile. How you are going to specify the traffic? In traditional routing we have ACL. We have ACL, access control list, through which we can specify the traffic. While configuring NAT also you have to specify the source. While controlling the traffic you have to first specify the traffic. So we have ACL, we have prefix list, we have route map. In the traditional routing, in SD-WAN we have group of interest. We have group of interest, and site ID is group of interest. T-lock is group of interest. Route is group of interest. Means we can control and manage the traffic on the basis of these group of interest. On the basis of site I can deny or allow the traffic. On the basis of T-log I can deny or allow the traffic. On the basis of route, means route information 10.1.1.0/24, we can allow and deny the traffic. On the basis of application we can allow or deny the traffic, means we can manage the traffic, we can control the traffic. So we have multiple group of interest in SD-WAN that can be used to control and manage the traffic, to specify the traffic, right? So what I am expecting, what is policy is clear, types of policy is clear, execution is clear, direction is clear, and don't worry about the group of interest because we are going to learn it in detail. Okay, so if anyone have any question till here, please ask. If all are clear, then please let me know. Okay, I have one question. Let's say you have one application in your network. Application is anything, let's say Zoom application. Or Zoom is not Zoom application. If you are thinking that, why I will configure policy for Zoom? Okay, let's say app 1 or HR portal. HR portal. Right? On the Sunday, this is the requirement. I am telling you requirement of company. On this upcoming Sunday, I want to configure a specific path for HR portal. Means all the user, or maybe all the users should not be able to access HR portal on Sunday. Which type of policy you will create? Centralized policy or localized policy? See, this is route traffic on the basis of application in the entire SD-WAN fabric. This is not local to device. We have very more important and interesting traffic in upcoming days, like service training, service insertion, right? And if policy is very important to understand the upcoming topics as well.
So in this case, we have to configure centralized policy, right, sir?
Correct. Correct. Because for the entire SD-WAN fabric, what I want, every employees in my company, doesn't matter they belong to which side, right, all over the world. Let's say Netflix want to block the access of an application movie for a few hours. So whenever we are going to apply policy for the entire fabric, then we'll create centralized policy. Centralized policy is very useful for application aware routing in the real time. In the real time, many times you will be using centralized policy for application aware routing. Like you can match the application and then you can configure the policy, apply the policy. Like defining the path on the basis of application, right? On the basis of link parameters also we can configure the policy, like if the jitter is going above to a specific label, or delay is going above, or there is reliability issue, right? So that time you should use this policy. That is also possible. And now another scenario for an example. Let's say side 1 should not be able to access HR portal on Sunday. Which type of policy you will configure? Side 1 user means, let's say side 1 is in Delhi. So what I want, Delhi user should not be able to access HR portal on Sunday. Localized policy or centralized?
Localized.
Yes.
Localized policy.
Is it clear to everyone? Localized policy is local to box, are configured directly on Vmanage device. Definitely we will configure on Vmanage. So Vmanage will directly push it to Vmanage. And execution of localized policy, guys, where it will be executed? On each
Vmanage device.
Yes, Vmanage devices. On Vmanage devices. Okay. We can achieve quality of service also with the help of policy. So if the theory is clear, allow me to configure it, show you practically. Or if anyone is not clear with this, like how policies are executed in SD-WAN, please ask. Please ask. Because what I told you in first class, I want to teach you SD-WAN in better way, more better way, right? So that you can work if the SD-WAN is already running there in their infrastructure, you can improve that. Right? So other employees will definitely appreciate. Okay, tell me one answer of this question. Let's say for an example, here I am writing the requirement in detail. A company with multiple branches may use a okay, I will ask you this question after the configuration. Okay, a company want all branches should forward voice over IP traffic through MPLS, right? And data traffic, as voice traffic is key sensitive, delay sensitive, right? And data traffic should use internet, right? So like this, you can create the scenario and then you can configure the policy, you can execute the policy. Benefit of policy, advantage. Can now anyone tell me the advantage? Enhanced, we can say control, we can say more flexible, right? Optimize performance, right? Improved security, means we can achieve security. Cost saving, right? And many more like this you can think, and right. Okay, so let's begin the configuration. See guys, first of all I have to access my Vmanage here. And how I will access the Vmanage? Where is the topology? Here it is. Through any browser. What is the IP address on management interface? Anyone remember? Otherwise here I can check. IP for the management. What is the management IP address of Vmanage? So run VPN 512. So in VPN 512 IP is 191.1.20. Okay. So let me close the console or leave it and use any browser. Let me use Opera. Opera is my favorite browser. 192.168.1.20. Got the access. Admin. All the devices are live online. Now, guys, in the last class we had configured all Vmanage devices through template. Yes or no? Yes or no? What about the controllers? Controller modes are CLI or Vmanage? Check. These are Vmanage devices, and the mode of all Vmanage devices is, you can see here, Vmanage, right? If I will check the mode of controllers, so you can see mode of controllers are CLI, right? You can configure these controllers also through template. But Praful, is it mandatory to configure controllers through CLI or through Vmanage? So see, Vmanage is not matter, right? You can configure it through CLI, you can configure it through templates, and both will work fine. Vmanage also, but vSmart. If you want to configure the policy, your vSmart mode should be Vmanage. The reason, guys, we are going to create policy on Vmanage only, right? And it will push to vSmart. So that's why the mode of vSmart should be Vmanage. Now we cannot apply any policy. Let me do one thing. Let me try to create a policy here. To create policy, see here again under configuration we have policy option, right? So click on policies. And here you can see we have two types of policy, centralized policy and localized policy, right? By default I don't have any localized policy as well as I don't have any centralized policy. Then here we have custom option. So by clicking on custom option also we can create centralized policy and localized policy. We have same option, right? Let me create one centralized policy. So click on centralized and click on add policy. And these are the group of interest. Like you can see, first group of interest is application. Application means we can configure the policy, we can control, manage the traffic on the basis of application. Then color, on the basis of color. Like in my scenario, I am using two color, biz internet and MPLS. So we can configure policy on the basis of color also. Then data prefix. Prefix is similar like networks. Prefixes in traditional routing. Then polisher is there. Don't worry about the polisher. This prefix again same thing. Then site. On the basis of site also we can configure the policy. We can apply the policy. We can monitor the we can control and manage the traffic. On the basis of SLA, tracking, service level agreement class, SLA. Then on the basis of TLOC and on the basis of VPN. So these are what? These are group of interest we can use for the policy. Right? To create the policy, simply I will click on site. Let's say, let me use the side ID, right? So click on side and here we can create side list. In side list, see we have how many types of site? Two types of site. One is DC and one is branches. Like in real time, you will have remote side, right? You will have like these types of sites. You will have data center, you can have headquarter, right? And then you can have some like a special site. Multiple types of site can be there. So for each types of site we can create VPN list. Like for DC I can create one VPN list or side list. Let's say side list name is DC sites, right? And in this list I can call all the DC site. Like here I have only one data center. But if I have multiple data center, let's say here side ID is 100 and I have another DC somewhere, their side ID is 200. So I can call both side ID here, right? Both side ID we can call. So whenever I want to apply some policy for DC I can use this side list. If I will allow any traffic for this side list, that will be automatically apply it for the DC, because in DC only I am using side 10 or 100 and 200. In the same way, under sites we can add side 1. We can first give name, let's say sites list or any name, and in sites, or we can say spoke sites, and in this I can call site ID 1, site ID 2, site ID 3, site ID 4. And whenever I want to apply policy for all the sites, all the branches, I can call this site list. I can call this site list. In the same way, if I have multiple VPN over here, I can create VPN 10 and VPN 20, VPN 30, right? And these are the name. And in this VPN, we can add the, like we can say, let's say sales VPN for sales departments. And in this VPN, I can add some VPN 10, 20. So whenever you want to apply any policy for sales VPN, sales people, you can apply that for this VPN list, right? So in list, we are going to match the site ID, right? So here, when I am clicking on site, you can see it is asking to create site ID, right? So let's click on site ID, and let me give one name to this site ID. Let's say DC sites, right? And in this site ID, we can add the site. You can see here 100, 200 separately. I have only one site, so I am going to say 100. Site ID of DC is 100, right? If you have multiple, you can say 100, 200 like this, right? And then click on add, right? So I have DC site. I have created one site list where I have add site ID 100. I'm going to create one more site because I have two types of sites here. You can see spokes and DC. So now I am going to say again new site list, and this time I am going to say spoke sites. And in spoke sites, I am going to add site 1, 2, 3, 4, all the sites, right? So let's say if I want to create hub and spoke topology, I can say hub is, see, first let me create it, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? And let me click on add. So see, I have two site list, DC and spoke site. If I want to create hub and spoke topology, simply I can tell to this policy that, brother, my DC site, this is hub router and this is spoke routers. This is spoke routers. It will automatically create hub and spoke topology. Automatically. It's very simple. The simplest way to create policy. This is the simplest way to create policy. I have defined this. In the same way, we can define like other group of interest also, like VPN here, right? So again, VPN list, name is, let's say, sales, right? And in this VPN list, I am going to add VPN 10, only VPN 10. Done. If for the application, you can see two applications by default exist on Vmanage, like in the policy, in the centralized policy. One is Microsoft application, one is Google application. If you want to delete it, you can delete it, right? If you want to new list, here you can click on add. Again, define the name, and then you can select the application, right? So these are the application. Here I can say Zoom. First name, let's say Zoom or Telnet. Telnet is a application, right? And now here say select Telnet. Application, here you can select the search Telnet. Here it is, right? Here we can search another application also, like any application. Zoom is also there. Zoom, right? We can say SSH, right? So any application we can select. For now I am not going to use it, just cancel it. See, I have only created two group of interest. One site, I have created two sites list. I have created two site list, one is DC and one is a spoke site, and I have created VPN, one VPN, that is VPN sales. I can have multiple VPN, let's say VPN 20 is also there, that is HR, so I am going to say HR, and in this VPN list I am going to add VPN 20. If you want to add multiple VPN, you can add that, right? Like sales people are there in multiple VPN. In VPN 10 and 20, VPN 10 and 20 are sales. Here, let's say for an example, I have one interface, two interface, three interface, right? This interface is in VPN 10, this interface is in VPN 20, this interface is in VPN 30, right? And in VPN 20, sales people are there, and in VPN 30, HR are there, for an example, right? So I can create two VPN list, one with name sales, in that I will add VPN 10 and 20, and one with name HR, where I can add VPN 30 only. And in the policy, we can call this site list. Same thing I am doing here. Same thing I am doing here, right? HR, in the HR 20, I have added VPN ID 20 this way. So you can see I have two VPN list, right? And after that, click on next. And site, two sites, I have created two site list, two VPN list, nothing else. I have not created any T-lock or those things right now. Click on next. Now it is asking to select the topology, add the topology, which type of topology you want to create. And by default, you can see hub and spoke topology is there. Only hub and spoke, full mesh is there. After that, custom control. This is the customization, and here is the no limit. Whatever you can think, you can create. But like if you want to create hub and spoke topology, you don't need to create, you don't need to do anything. Simply select this option, hub and spoke, and define the hub side and spoke side. Which side is the hub side and which side should be the spoke side, that's it. If you want to create the mesh topology, then also you have to define the sides, right? So for an example, now I am not going to touch the custom option. Definitely I will touch and I will go very deeply. For now, just I am going to click on hub and spoke. It will create hub and spoke topology for me, right? So select over here. Define the name of your topology, right? So name of topology, I am going to change hub and spoke name, right? In the description also I am going to use same. After that, we ask for the VPN list, right? So you have created the VPN list, correct? For which VPN you are going to create hub and spoke topology? VPN 10 for sales people, or for all the people? For all the people, if you want to apply it for all the people, then you have to create one VPN list where you have to add all the VPN. Getting my point? What is the logic? By default, this is full mesh topology. Here I have VPN 1020, 1020, 1020, 1020, 1020, 1020. For which VPN you are going to create hub and spoke topology? If you want to create hub and spoke topology for all the VPN, you have to create one VPN list first, because in the topology I have to define VPN list. And now we should have three VPN lists, one sales, one HR, and one all VPN, where I will call all VPN ID. For now, I have only one VPN here. I am going to say VPN 10. VPN list, see, whatever VPN list you have created, here you have option to select. So I have only one VPN list. If you want to see, again I can show you. Add policy, and side is there, VPN is there. Okay, two VPN lists are there. Click topology, hub and spoke, name, yeah, sales and HR both are there, right? So sales for VPN 10, so let me select the sales here, and now it is asking add hub side, and then it is asking add hub spoke side. That's it. Tell me which sides are hub and which sides are spoke. So you have already created side list. You have created two side lists, one with name DC sides, and one with name I think spoke side, right? Here in this we have called side ID 100, and here we have called side 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So I'm going to say this side means side 100. If I will say DC side is the hub, that means side ID 100 is the hub router, right? And if I am going to say spoke sides are spoke, that means side ID 1, side ID 2, side ID 3 and side ID 4 are going to become a spoke, right? So let me do that. Let me click on add hub side, and here select the hub side. See, two hub side, two side list are there. I am going to select DC side. DC will be my hub, and then spoke side. So spoke, I am going to select spoke sides, means side 1, side 2, side 3, side 4. In spoke I have selected side 1, side 2, side 3, side 4, and in hub I have selected side 100 with the help of side list. Then click on save hub and spoke topology, policy. Save hub and spoke policy. So save it. Now your policy is ready. Here you can see your policy is ready. Now let me try to apply it. See, click and view. If you want to view the policy, you can click on view. Let me view it, and see topology is hub and spoke. Then here hub and spoke. VPN list is 10 cell. Edit. Okay. Here we are not able to see like detailed information. Can ignore it. Just click on next to apply it. See, because here I don't have any option to apply. I have delete option, I have view option, and edit option. So click on next. Now this is talking about application aware routing. Application aware routing. So here we are not going to do anything. This is, then click next. This is the final page. Apply policy to sites and VPN. Policy name, I'm going to say hub and spoke. Description, hub and spoke, and let me preview it once. So here is my policy list VPN 10. I think I have not added the site. Just a minute. I have not added the side here. Back, one more step back. Next, hub and spoke topology. Click on edit, and yes, here you can see hub side is not there. Let me select again. DC side is going to be hub, and click on add. I forget to add it, right? No worry. Then spoke side is going to be my spoke sides. Again click on add, and then click on save policy, and now you can view it. This was the problem. What happened? Hub spoke. VPN cells. Hub side is DC side. Spoke side is VPN cells. Okay, everything is fine. Click on save. Fail to create policy, duplicate policy, deduct with hub and spoke. I have already one policy with this name. Where is that? If I have two, I will delete it. I will delete one. Click next and click next here. Here is your policy. Here is your policy, right? So see, policy is what it's saying. Policy sequence number 10. It is saying match route from side list. Which side list? DC side list. And for which VPN? Cells. And then what action you will take? Accept. What action you will take? Accept. Then sequence number 20, match T-log. For which side? DC side. And what action? Accept. And then for rest traffic, default action is rejected. Default action is rejected. For everything else, reject. For everything else, reject. Clear? This is your policy. So let me save it. And now we can apply it. Now this policy is not applied. Here is the activate option, right? So in view option you can view the policy, right? Like topology, hub and spoke 1. See flow, we'll see later. Here we should be able to see the sides also. Okay, wait. Then we can view, we can preview like this. If you will do it through CLI, then this is the command, this is the way, right? And after that we can duplicate it, copy it, then we can edit it, and we can delete it, then we can edit it, then we can edit it, sorry, activate it, right? In the edit, here is the edit, rule, topology, hub and spoke, okay? So this way you can review it. Now I'm going to activate it. Click on activate. But see, this activate will not work. What it's saying? What is the error, guys? Please read. Fail to activate the policy. Reason? What is the reason? vSmart not in Vmanage mode. So this is mandatory. This is mandatory. If you want to configure policy, then your vSmart mode should be Vmanage, right? Other controllers mode can be CLI or it can be Vmanage, doesn't matter. But vSmart mode should be Vmanage. So what I have to do, I have to configure this vSmart through template, right? So whatever configuration we have on vSmart, we can create template for that. So tell me guys, how many things I have configured on vSmart? In the notepad I am going to write how many templates I need to create, how many feature template I need to create. One for system configuration, system, or we can check it by checking the running configuration as well, admin and admin, and so run. So for the system configuration we have to create one template. Then AAA we have not configured, these are not configured by us. OMP we have not configured the OMP, then VPN 0. So we'll create one template for VPN 0. Then Ethernet 1/1, Ethernet 1, sorry, not 1 only here, right? And then VPN 0, and in VPN 0 you will configure default route. Then one template is required for VPN 512. Is there anything else? Anything else on vSmart? No. Right? So it's simple. We can create feature templates, but you cannot use the templates which you have created for Vmanage devices, right? So don't copy those templates, because whenever you are creating the template, you are selecting the device. Those are for VAs, right? Not for vSmart. For vSmart, this is controller, right? You have to create the separate policy. Or we can do one thing. We can copy the running configuration, and through CLI we can create template. Let me do one thing. Let me copy the configuration. Even we don't need to create any template. See. Copy the configuration of vSmart, and I am going to create CLI template. Okay, and go to Vmanage, then go to template, then create template through CLI. Here device model vSmart, template name vSmart CLI template. Okay, here also we have to define the name vSmart CLI template, and here I am going to push the configuration, right? And I can save the configuration, and then we can load the file as well, right? Let me paste the configuration. If you have multiple vSmart, then you can make like system IP and few things, whatever variable things are there to variable, right? And after that click on add. So template is created. Now let me apply it with device. See, in the edit I don't need to fill any information, all are already filled. Cancel. Let me apply it. Now you can see attached device is 0, not attached with any device. So let's click on attach device, select the device vSmart and attach config device, and you can see process is under pushing, template is under process. Starting checks, validating if the device scheduled for template push are active or not. You can see validation succeed. Now it is pushing the template. Pushing configuration to device. Wait. Now you can see succeed. Done. So now if you will check devices and controller, so you can see mode of your vSmart is changed to Are you there, guys? Hey, what happened? Is
Yes,
class
sir.
being boring?
No, sir.
Hey, what about others? Nishar, Sairam, Aditya, Avik,
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
what happened? Why you guys are so silent?
Sir, can you once again show that how to configure a vSmart with the pre-configured CLI configuration? I didn't understand that.
Yes, you see, by default mode is CLI, right? So if you want to configure devices, we have two options. Either we can configure it through CLI or we can configure it through GUI. So through GUI you will, sorry, not GUI, through template, extremely sorry. Either you can configure it through CLI or through template. And we have two types of templates. Template is useful while we are configuring multiple devices at a time. Simultaneously, when we need to configure 1000 number of devices, then it is going to be very complicated through CLI, right? So we can create the template. To create the template, just click on templates, and then we have two types of template: device template and feature template, right? Feature template means creating template for a specific task. Like for all the tasks here, for all these 4 tasks, we can create 4 feature template, but we cannot apply feature template on device. So through CLI, we can combine all the feature template together and then we can push it to device. And device template is the complete configuration. You can write the command. So what I did, I copy the running configuration of vSmart, right? Then I clicked on create template. I chosen this option, CLI template. The reason, I have not created any feature template, right? CLI. And in CLI, I define the name, define the description, and after that I paste the commands here. Paste all the commands. And then I add, click on add button. And after that, I have applied that. By clicking on this 3 dot, I click on attached. Then I selected the device. Now you can see device is not there, not visible, because we have only one vSmart in the network. And we have already applied this policy to that vSmart. Got it?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
What about others? Any issue, guys? Any issue, problem? Please tell me. Okay, I am expecting you guys are getting me what I am explaining. If anyone have doubt, please stop me. No problem, I will configure topology multiple types. So about the configuration, don't worry, right? But about the concept, you have to be very strict, okay? So now my vSmart is in Vmanage mode. So I can now apply the policy. So again go to policy. And before applying the policy, yes Avik, go ahead. Do you want to speak? If you want to speak, you can speak. Okay. Now guys, before,
Am I?
yeah,
Sir?
yeah, you are audible.
Hello.
Yeah, audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was saying that if I have to keep all my devices, that is the edge devices and everything in any of the VRF,
Any of the?
or if I don't define any VRF, then for example, if I don't want to keep multiple VRFs, I don't want to segregate. I want to keep all
See,
my
at least you
devices
have
in
to
default.
create, brother, at least you have, see, if you will not create VPN 10 over here, then what will happen? This DC have the VPN 10, it will advertise to vSmart, and vSmart will advertise to E. But suppose here if that VRF is not available, then it will not accept, means it will not learn any prefixes of that VRF, yes or no? Like on a switch, you have deleted one VLAN. You have deleted the VLAN. So now whatever prefixes are there in VLAN, that this switch is not going to learn it. In the VRF, let's say I have one router, PE router, another PE router, R2 service point router. Between PE to PE, I have lots of router, right? And here I have configured MPBGP. MPBGP, here I have two VRF, VRF A and VRF B. Here I have also two VRF, VRF A and VRF B. If I don't want to create VRF A over here, the reason I don't have any user for VRF A, so I will delete this VRF A.
Yes, sir.
If I will delete the VRF A, then what will happen? Whatever prefixes this router 1 was advertising in VRF A, it will not accept that. Means you cannot forward traffic in VRF A now to other side as well. To accept the route of VRF A, here you have to at least create the VRF. Yes or no? So same thing is
Yes,
happening
sir.
over here. At least you have to create the VPN. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Now, before applying the policy, see the BFD session. Admin. So, BFD session. Right? So, IPsec. Inbound connection. Done. So, all have direct IPsec with each other. Now I am going to apply the policy. I am going to create hub and spoke topology. Right? So click on this 3 dot and activate. Click on activate. Wow. It is another process. Wait a minute. Here the policy is applied, you can see successful, and I have only few sites, but in real time when you have 1,000 number of sites, just think about the mistake. You are going to change the complete behavior of your entire fabric at a time. So make sure your topology, your configuration, policy configuration is 110% correct. Right? And I will be using this policy for lifetime now. I will have lots of policy here, multiple policy. Maybe for this weekend I will be using different policy, means my topology is going to be different, is going to behave like completely different. In next weekend my topology is going to be different. This is the main beauty of SD-WAN. According to our requirement, every hour we can change the complete behavior of entire SD-WAN fabric. Getting my point? Guys, understand, this is the reason why companies are moving toward SD-WAN. Now, see, policy is applied. Same command I am going to run on branch 1 router. Same command. This was the old command. So IPsec. Oh my God. So BFD. Oh my God. What happened, Praful? Now I have one question to you. Please answer. Can these two sides communicate, side 1 and side 2 now? Can I ping to side 2 from side 1? Can I ping side 2 from side 1? If it is no, then tell me the reason. See, I am going to access internal order of side 1. First, I am going to ping to gateway 10.1.1. able to ping gateway. I'm going to ping DC 192.168.100.1. My God. DC. I'm able to ping. Now I'm going to ping branch 2. Now you tell me why ping is not working.
VRF is different.
Yes? Yes?
It's a VRF issue. Like it's in.
No, we have VRF.
Different VRF.
No, we have VRF, same VRF here. In branch 1, you can see, so run VPN 10. We have VPN 10 here. Right, we have interfaces as well, right? The routing protocol is also running. No VRF, not VRF issue. On DC router, guys, on DC router, you can check. DC router will have IPsec with all the branch offices, right? All the branch have BFD with DC only, but DC I have created hub and spoke topology. Don't forget this. Right? This is hub and spoke topology. Means hub router will have IPsec and BFD with all Vmanage. So IPsec inbound connection. Yes, you can see. Also BFD session. Yes, 6.6, 7.7, 8.8, 9.9. But branches don't have IPsec. On branch 1 VS1, I want to show you the T-lock also. See, so T-locks. So OMP T-locks. So OMP T-lock. And I will not tell you the answer. You have to tell answer. So please listen me carefully and see everything very carefully. Here I have T-lock of DC. I have T-lock of 5.5.5 my own. Both MPLS and internet. That's it. I don't have T-lock of branch 2, branch 3, branch 4. Definitely I cannot establish IPsec. This is the reason you don't have IPsec. This is the reason why you don't have BFD between branches. But still question is same. Why branch 1 and branch 2 are not able to communicate via hub router? Praful, here I have BFD session. 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 I am absolutely fine. It's obvious that we don't have IPsec between branches here. But why ping is not working? DC will advertise these prefixes to vSmart. Branches will advertise these prefixes to vSmart. Right? And think about T-log. Will advertise their T-log to vSmart. Where is the policy running? On vSmart only. Right? So in hub and spoke, what will happen? This vSmart is not going to advertise T-log between two sides. vSmart is going to advertise T-log of DC to all Vmanage. DC to all Vmanage. And all WAN is T-log to DC. Okay, what about the routes? What about the routes? So definitely 110% vSmart is going to advertise subnet of DC to all the Vmanage devices. Obvious. All the Vmanage devices have the DC subnet on branch 1. So IP route OMP or OMP, yes. See, we have prefixes of data center, all the prefixes, but I don't have branch 2 prefix, branch 3 prefix, branch 4 prefix. On any Vmanage devices you can check. Let's say branch 2 VH1. admin. So OMP, so IP route, OMP. You can see all the DC prefixes are there, 192.168.100.0, 101, 102, but don't have any remote site prefix, means other branch prefix. Right? And it will advertise all prefixes to DC. So on DC router you have IPsec connection with all other WANs, and you will have all the prefixes on DC. All the prefixes on DC. On DC router, where is the DC? Here. DC router. So IP route OMP. See here, 11, 10, 12, 21, 20, 22, 30, all the prefixes. Now, this is the reason, right? Because now these branches don't have prefixes of remote branch, because this is hub and spoke topology. vSmart will not advertise T-lock between branches. It will advertise all T-lock of DC branch, because in DC, like in hub side list, we have added DC side, and in DC side we have added VPN 100. If I will add VPN, this VPN also there, let's say this is my also one DC2, right? So in the policy we need to only edit, we need to only add this side ID in side list. Right, vSmart will get to know, okay, there are 2 hub router. Okay, then what will happen? This VS will have IPsec BFT with all Vmanage, and this router will also have this, like this. So if you want to design this topology, like there should be BFD between DCVS and side 4 Vmanage with all other, right? But rest all should have only connection with these 2 routers, not between them. You can design that also. And in the customization we'll see everything you can do. This is the by default, right? The hub and spoke topology already created under policy. We have not created any policy till now. Yes or no, guys? I have not created any policy till now. This is the default policy. Just I have used that. That is hub and spoke. But there is only one topology by default, that is hub and spoke, right? For any other requirement, we have to create manually. Correct? Now, question over here is how two sides will communicate. Anyone have solution? See, this is routing and switching only. If you know the routing and switching, easily you can answer me. When, let's understand packet flow. When I am pinging to 192.168.20.1 from 10.1, source IP 20.1. Sorry, 10.1 to destination IP 20.1. It will forward it to their gateway. Let's say this router is going to check routing table. Route is not available. It is not receiving any prefix from side 2. It will discard it. And why route is not available, that also you know. So I can configure one default route towards DC, because DC have route for this network. So if I will forward traffic to DC, then DC can forward it to site 2. Then again we will have issue for the reply message, because this router don't have route. So on this router also I can configure one default route towards DC. One default route is already there, but that is in VPN 0. This time I will create default route in VPN 10. we have already one default route towards internet in VPN 0, right? Right now I am talking about VPN 10. Once this router will receive traffic on this interface, it will get to know that this is traffic of VPN 10. It will check VPN 10 routing table only. It will not check global routing table. This is exactly similar like VRF. For a particular, whenever router is receiving traffic on the interface, let's say router R1, right, have one interface connected. This interface is in VRF A, right, and on the router there are multiple routing table for VRF A, for VRF B, right, and there is one global routing table. So when router will receive traffic on this interface, it will check, okay, my receiving interface is member of VRF A, so router is going to look up this routing table. It will not look up global routing table, right? So that default route, one default route is there towards ISP, that default route will not look up while receiving traffic over here. In VPN 10, I can add one default route toward DC on all the Vmanage devices. Then automatically two sides will start communicating. Yes or no? Yes. 100% yes, Praful, it's obvious. Or guys, again, 1000 devices, changing default route or configuring default route is complicated. So you can do it in template. Do it in template. Again, in the template, Praful, I have to configure it. I have to add the template, then I have to apply to devices. Tell me any fast and simple way. Advertise default route from DC to all Vmanage. Right? Just advertise one default route from DC to all Vmanage in VPN 10. Now all the Vmanage have default route towards DC router. So whenever destination will not match, it will not find any entry, any specific route, it will use default route, it will forward to DC. And DC router have already route for all the sites. Right? So right now I am not managing this DC Vmanage device through CLI, but also I am going to show you how you will configure it through CLI. The only thing is we cannot commit because the mode is Vmanage, right? So go to configure mode and first select the VPN ID time 10, and here I am going to say default. What is the command? IP default route. Sorry, interface G 0/0 tunnel interface. VPN 10 interface G 0/0. This is the IP command. Hello, 1 minute guys, 1 second. Hello, yeah. Tell me fast, bro, I am in class. Guys, just take break of 2 minutes. Okay, then we'll continue. Yes. Okay, so let me show you how to configure default route through CLI on here. Like under VPN 10, I can say IP route 000, like you have configured default route on VPN 10 in VPN 10 0.0/0. And next hop is not there, guys. I want to drop the traffic. Like I don't want to use this default route on DC, right? So like in traditional routing, whenever we are performing summarization, router make one default route like the summary address entry in their routing table as well with exit interface what? Null zero, right? So here also we can create default route with exit interface null zero, because in VPN 10 here on DC we have the route. So once this router will receive traffic, it will use a specific route, right? But this default route will be useful on all the branches. So I am going to say here, let's say null zero, done, and then commit. What it's saying, I am not allowed to commit. Reason? I am not allowed to commit. The reason? What is the reason? Mode. Mode of this device is Vmanage, right? So that you can change the mode. If I will change the mode, then what will happen? Which configuration will be there, guys, on device? The configuration which I did through template last time, or the previous configuration through CLI? What will be the current configuration on the device if I will change the mode to CLI? The last configuration will be there, which is template basis configuration, right? So in the template also we can change, like here in template you can see right now mode is Vmanage to all Vmanage devices. Where I am? Mode Vmanage. Then go to template. Templates. And click on feature template, and you have created feature template for DC. Let me search DC. So here I have one template for VPN 10. This is VPN 10 interface and VPN 0 VPN 10, DC VPN 10. So let me click on this three dot to edit, and under VPN 10 I am going to add one default route here. Here IP route, click on new IP route, destination network 0.0.0.0, and next hop IP address will be null 0. null 0 slash 0. Update it. Update it. Now I am going to reattach it. DC device template. Click on the three dot and attach. With which device? Okay, first DC VPN 10. And 0.0.0 slash 0. Next hop I can say null 0. Add and update. Click on update button. Then next and 4.4.4, here you can see the difference in configuration. Error in line 30, invalid value for address, but it is not taking null 0. So like you can check what should be the interface for null 0. Okay, that is fine. Again go to template, feature template. We can define the interface as well, no problem. DC VPN 10. And edit it. Let me try without interface. Not edit. What is happening? Gateway is missing, but here we are not able to use next hop as well. So then I have to change the mode only. That is the only option. I am saying device specific, let's say. So it will ask for this while updating VPN 10 next hop IP address and Done. So next hop I have set, not set, let me set it to device specific. Device specific, and name should be VPN 10, and this one next. Missing gateway is missing, misconfiguration in one or more IPv4 prefix. Prefix is good. Next hop is also fine, it is device specific. Then I have to do it manually only. I make it optional. So if you want to provide, you can provide. Let me try. Now it is asking for this, you can see, and it is optional. Either we can define or we can ignore. VPN IP prefix 0.0.0.0/0. Failed. VPN address should, let me try once more. After that I will change the mode. I will check device template once. This is fine. One minute. Through CLI we can do it, but through templates also we need to learn. Actually with null interface, what is happening, router will discard the traffic if it will receive over here. Like this route will not use. WAN is will use this, but null zero interface should work here. Okay, it was asking for the DC. And next hop should be null zero. This should work. But if it will not work now, what we'll do? We'll skip it for now. We'll change the mode and I will check it later. Let me click on config difference once. Not working, right? Template, and let me create one template. VS Cloud DC VPN 10 new. Better to create the feature template. VS Cloud VPN. And a template is not there for the static route, like, right? So we'll always add a static route under VPN template. So VPN, and I'm going to define name this one VPN DC VPN 10 new template. New template. VPN ID I'm going to set 10. Name is globally we can set it to service VPN for an example. Going to add IP route. Here is the null zero option, you can see, right? But there it's not showing. In my template it should show here null zero. In next hop there should be null zero interface also. IP route. Here it is. Yeah, so I should select this one. Why we're adding it? Globally we can on it we can define the distance also. If you want, you can ignore it, these things. And let's update now. Sorry guys, it's but like we cannot leave anything. Okay, so configuration is this one. Click next and update it. This time it will work. See the difference in configuration? click on difference and side by side. So here is the difference only, you can see here. In which VPN? In VPN 10, I have added one default route on with null interface 0, with null 0 interface. And here earlier I don't have this default route, that's it. Let's click on configure devices. And you can see it is under process. Wait for 2 minutes. Till then let me take water. Good. Now you can check here on DCVH. DCVH, we can check the routing table of VPN 10. So IP exit, exit, and so VPN, so run VPN 10. So in VPN 10 you can see now we have default route here, 0, 0, 0, on which interface? On null interface. And in hub and spoke, DC router is advertising the route to all Vmanage devices. So all Vmanage devices will receive it. Now if you will check again the routing table of branch 1 VS1 routing table, see earlier this was the route, all the prefixes on data center. This time it will have one default route as well from the DC. So again I am going to use same command, so IP route OMP, and this time you can see default route is there, right? So now can I ping? 100% yes. Yes or no, guys? 100% yes. Now you can ping it, but ping will, traffic will go through DC data center. Let me ping first. Ping 192.168.20.1 and source 192.168.10.1. What happened? So IP route OSPF. Okay, internal router is not receiving default route. Okay, I will tell you this also, don't worry. Right? Why this internal router is not receiving default route in VPN 10? Actually on router I don't have any VPN 10, yes or no? But we are redistributing OMP into OSPF. Here on the Vmanage, here I am running OSPF between internal router and Vmanage device, and we are redistributing OMP. And this time this router, Vmanage router, is learning default route through OMP only. So it should advertise default route, but by default, after redistribution also, it will not redistribute, not advertise default route. It will not redistribute default route by default. Okay? But you can check the connectivity from branch 1 router. From branch 1, I am going to ping 10.110.10.2.1, which is the IP address of branch 2 VH1 7.7.7. and I am going to say source 1.1 in VPN 10. Ping it in VPN 10. And you can see ping is working, yes or no? Ping is working. If I will trace route 10.10.2.1, trace route VPN 10 and 10.10.2.1 and source, let's say this one only. So you can see traffic is going via 10.10.0.1, which is DC router. Yes or no? All the sites can communicate, but through DC. And why? Because it is advertising default route, right? Still, WAN is one, don't have route. So OMP route, here you can see the OMP routing table, OMP route. Only these prefixes are there. DC, these are the connected, like receiving from router through OSPF. DC prefixes, but one default route is there, right? Now why branch router is not advertising? And you can ping to any site now from here. You can ping to any site, like I can ping, let's say branch 4. Between branch 1 and branch 2, traffic is going like this. Branch 1 to DC and DC to branch 2. Right? Now from branch 1 to side 4, I am going to trace route. So in side 4, we have which IP? 10.10.4.1. 4.1. You can see traffic is going DC first and then branch 4. Means this path. Right. All communication will happen through DC router only. Two sides can communicate, but via DC. Right. And here we can have one firewall in DC where we can inspect the traffic. Got it? Now here we don't have any IPsec tunnel. Now it is not advertising default route of OMP. So you can check it in the template once. Admin. By default, OMP node redistribute default route in OSPF. Always keep in mind. By default, OMP protocol do not redistribute default route. So template, then feature template. This is policy. And which template? Feature template, and here we can check the branches device template. Edit. Okay, redistribution is there in OSPF. So for branches, here I have OSPF for VPN 10. Let's click on edit. And here somewhere you see, here you are redistributing OMP, right? Let me check. Is there any option? dot policy update it. On these all devices it is going to update. Check the difference first. Redistribute is time. No, this will not work, right? This is incorrect. This will not work. Here if I have something, VPN 10 BGP interface, vSmart BGP. So we will see this. Here we have some option. One day I had did that, I remember, in the Versa SD-WAN, and after that I had checked here also in Cisco SD-WAN. There was option. So that is in VPN 10 under OSPF. I'm talking about the OMP redistribution. OMP is not redistributing default route in OSPF. Okay. On branch 1 vs1 admin and admin. So IP OSPF, not IP. So OSPF, so VPN should run okay. I'm on Vmanage, sorry. So OSPF what is happening? Why this is Vmanage branch 1, here it is. So OSPF and database interface neighbor process database. In the database also you can see it's the OSPF database. Okay, is there any command to check LSA database summary? And so run VPN 10 in VPN 10 OSPF, and we are redistributing OMP. Config T VPN 10 router OSPF 1 sorry router OSPF redistribute OMP, and then route policy, and this is there should be one option here in template, OMP advertise. BGP study connected ESGRP. Okay. This is incorrect template. OSPF template 10, OSPF branches template 10, edit. Advance may, here is the originate, so this thing you have to turn on here. Globally I am going to on all the devices, originate option, got it? Default metric, this one, let me update it. Say next, you can check the configuration difference. Side by side. Where is the difference? Here is the difference you can see. Earlier in VPN 10 I had enabled OSPF, router OSPF, but this command was not there. Default information originate. Now I have added this command. Right? This is a command in OSPF, right, on Cisco router as well. That's it. Now let me configure the devices. Yeah, on all 5 devices, confirm, okay, and it's scheduled. It will take some time, and after that it will advertise default route to router. Okay, so guys, I think that's all for today. Now you are please ask some question, please, because if you guys are not asking question, I feel like you guys are not getting me, you are not learning it. Because whenever we are learning, lots of questions are coming in mind. What if this, what if that, like that, right? Avik, don't have any question? Sasi, Avik, Nisarji, Sairam, Gajanan. Sir, lab access. Okay, for the lab access, after the class, just message me on WhatsApp. One people can perform lab right now, right after the class. Right after the class, one guys can perform the lab. Okay, so policy is, I think, applied. Yeah, you can see on all devices. And now on internal order, we can check the routing table. Like from R1, here again, so IP, route, R1 branch 1 router. Yeah, enable and so IP route. This time you can see I have default route, right? So now I can ping to branch 2, ping 192.168.20.1 source 192.168.10.1, and this ping will work this time. Working. And if you will trace route 192.168.20.1 and source 192.168.10.1 numeric. So you can see traffic is going to Vmanage. Right, there are two routers, so that's why you are getting two paths. First traffic reach to branch 1 VS1, then it forward traffic to 10.10.1.2. Then traffic is going to some incorrect output from branch 1 router. This command is right. So this is your Vmanage, and your Vmanage is forwarding traffic to DC router. Right, so traffic is going via DC. But now all sides are able to communicate with each other. Okay. So today in the policy we have seen what is policy, and we have configured one policy, one type of topology, that is hub and spoke topology, and which is by default created on. So it's simple, you can start from this policy, and after that in next class I am going to show you the custom policy, how to create policy by ourselves. And guys, there is no limit of policy, you can configure anything, whatever you can think you can configure, everything is possible. Okay.